Dare to walk this path with me? One misstep, and we fall to our ruin. So take your first step. It's now or never!
What's up, YouTube? It's RSMario here, bringing you another Fire Emblem Three Houses video. Alright, so now for Fire Emblem Three Houses, I've kind of done a lot of videos on it lately. I'm still working on some more theories about, things I can glean, possible story tidbits. But one thing I have been thinking about a lot is classes. Classes play a pretty big role in Fire Emblem. And one thing I want some classes to come back. Because, we know that classes are going to come back, like the Myrmidons, Archers. Well, all these Myrmidons will come back in some capacity. Like, they weren't technically in Fates, but, they were samurai. And they technically kind of count as Myrmidons, kind of, sort of. So we know that, Myrmidons are probably going to come back. There's always going to be a sword user in Fire Emblem in some capacity. Even if they don't specifically call him a Myrmidon or Myriadon, whatever you like to call it, that's pretty much what it is. But there are other classes I want to see return from older Fire Emblem games, and here is a list of them now.
Do it!
So the first one is the Freelancer. So this one was in one of the older Fire Emblem games. I honestly forgot before. I had researched this before I did the video, but this video isn't necessarily scripted, so I honestly forgot. But he's from one of the older Fire Emblem games, and basically he's a unit that can take on, kind of like the abilities of other units or other unit classes. So it's kind of like a mimic class, It's actually pretty interesting. It will be interesting to see if there's like a student in the school that can do that. That would be something interesting. I would love to see a character that's kind of written around that class. What would you do with it though?
Do it!
The next class I think should come back is the Summoner. So now, the Summoner, if I'm not mistaken, was in, I think it was in Echoes. I haven't played Echoes yet, but I think it was in Echoes. And I'm like, I don't know, I think it was in Echoes, but I definitely would like to see it come back in Three Houses. And, it would be kind of interesting how they could, have like a summoner character in there. They could like summon creatures, or even if there's some kind of way they can have like animals that you fight in the game, or creatures like monsters that you fight, and you kill them, and maybe the summoner can learn how to summon them. Like, that would be pretty interesting. Like a summoner character, like think like Pain, like that one like Animal Pain from the if you're a Naruto fan, think Animal Pain. Like, that would be sweet.
Do it!
So, Tactician. I think the Tactician should come back. Now, why? Because, well, the Tactician is the closest thing we have in Fire Emblem to a Spellblade. If you don't know what a Spellblade is, basically it's somebody who wields magic with one hand and wields a sword with another. So they're basically magical sword users that don't ride horses. Okay? That's one thing. I'm like, they do have units like this in Fire Emblem, but they're horse units. I'm like, no, I want like a regular dude or a person who has a sword and has a tome, or has a sword and has the ability to use magic. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe he has a mini tome, he whips it out and he reads, he's like, or whatever. Think like Skyrim. If you ever played like a predominantly one-handed game of Skyrim, you have like, you have your one-handed weapon, and then you have, magic with the other hand. Or, think like Star Wars. Somebody who, wields a lightsaber in one hand and they use the other hand to use force. Somebody like that in Fire Emblem. The closest thing we've had to it is the Tactician. Because he basically wields tomes and a sword, and he's not a horseman. He doesn't ride a horse. He's the closest thing we'll ever really get to a Spellblade character. So I kind of hope the class comes back.
Do it!
So this one's kind of a no-brainer, the Villager. So the Villager has been, I think, in most of the recent Fire Emblem games. It's definitely been in every Fire Emblem game I played, because of course you had Donnell in Fire Emblem Awakening, and you had Mozu and Fates. So I think we're gonna get at least one villager every game. I definitely think hope this class comes back, because you know it's a cool class, and with its ability that basically ups its growths. I mean, a villager could basically turn like a regular unit into a beast very quickly, if you can get that unit off the ground, because they usually start off pretty weak. And having the ability to make a character a villager, kind of like the way they did in Echoes by giving them the pitchfork, is also another good idea. Bring that over to Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Do it!
The ninja. I want the ninja to come back. Okay, alright, the ninjas were freaking cool. I literally, like, in my first playthrough, well, my only playthrough so far of Birthright, I had like 6 ninjas on my team. Like, okay, I literally had like 6 dedicated ninjas. That's not even counting like people who already were ninjas. Like, I mean, I literally made like some other people ninjas because I just thought the ninja class was so cool. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a freaking cool class. Like, and they throw like it's actual throwing stars. It's not like, oh, he's a ninja, but he's got a sword. Like, no, bro. He's a legit ninja. He throws knives and throwing weapons. Bring all that to Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Do it!
And the last one is kind of a weird class, but I think it's pretty awesome. Because I'm actually going to do a different video that kind of involves this class, or at least my variation on the class, and that is the War Monk. Okay, so the War Monk, or you know, if you're not really familiar with the class, think Libra from Fire Emblem Awakening. His class, where he's basically like a tough damage dealer, but he's also a healer. Like, you don't know how many times he has pulled me out of like horrible situations, like where people are literally about to die, you know. And my playstyle, I separate my squad into different smaller squads at times to, like, you know, kind of surround people or go different routes or whatever. So having a character that's not only kind of a tank, but a big damage dealer and a healer is immensely useful. I really want this class to come back. Like legit bring back the War Monk. I mean, and having a church aesthetic, like a religious kind of aesthetic going on with the game, bringing back the War Monk could be easier than ever. So please, Nintendo and Intelligent Systems, bring back the Holy Axe Murderer, the War Monk. Whew! So that's about it for this. Follow, you know, of course, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, because that is the best way to get notifications that I'm going to be doing videos. I'm going to start tweeting more. I have some interesting plans for Twitter in the coming weeks, so follow that space, follow this space, like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, folks, keep it real.